some tribal wars and fight. Who knows better must do better? A source of collective insight may not be exposed to education, but surely knows wrong from right. Africans with African pride, fighting to attain our rights. One more shedding of blood for this nation to move forward. Africans with African pride, fighting to attain our rights. One more shedding of blood for this nation to move forward. Say within a motivation, teach I to be self-sufficient. Don't want to depend on no one for attainment of my brain. Oh, these words are my calling. Children crying white squad tears. Hunger rampant, harvest plenty. Ooh, oh, Africans with African pride, fighting to attain our rights. One more shedding of blood for any nation to move forward. Africans with African pride, fighting to attain our rights.
Praise the Most High God every day with your whole heart and desire. Lift him high, lift him high. Holy, 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 holy.
Hello, I'm Jesse White, Illinois Secretary of State.
This is Danielle Mitchell with Average Black Girl.
Hey, this is Don from Our Voice.
This is Jeff Badu from Badu Tax Services.
My name is Agwedima.
My name is Olivier Kamanzi.
This is Chateau.
My name is Eme Adibe.
And you're listening to Progressive Mind.
Progressive Mind.
Progressive Minds with your host, Alinko, on WGHC 98.3.
It's every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. on WGHC 98.3 FM.
This is Sana, host of Progressive Minds. You can also call me Alinko. Join me every Tuesday between 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time. We'll be coming your way with topical issues that pertain to our community, issues that relate to you and I. Join the #1 community building show in the entire world as we seek to uplift our community. If you're outside the range, just download the TuneIn app on Google Play Store and search for WGHC. If you're an Apple user, just go to your App Store and download WGHC app. You can also ring 563-999-3221 to listen to us live. Search for Progressive Minds on Facebook, like the page, and turn on your notification. You can also catch us on YouTube by searching for Progressive Minds. Progressive Minds, to whom much is given, much is required.
Thy rod and staff, they are with me. They surely comfort me.
My table, oh, has furnished in the presence of my foes. My head, oh, have anointed with oil. My cup it overflows.
Goodness and mercy all my life shall surely follow me. And in just house forevermore, my dwelling place must be.
Goodness and mercy all my life shall surely follow me. And in your house forevermore, my dwelling place shall be.
Good evening, people of Chicago. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, listeners of Progressive Minds. Good evening to listeners of WGHC 98.3 FM. This is your servant coming your way again, Alinko, coming your way again with the Progressive Mind Show. And again, good evening to you all. We thank God for giving us a special day to do His bit. Everyone has his own calling. Yours could be teaching people in school. It probably would be, working in the church or working in the community. We all have talents that God has endowed on us, and as a result, we all are mandated to execute these giftings. And we thank God that He gives us life to be able to execute this day in, day out, week in, week out. Again, you tune in to WGHC 98.3 FM. This is your number one and the first African Caribbean radio station in the Midwest, located right here in Uptown. We are the first immigrant-owned FM station in North America. You can't dig it. If you're listening on the northwest side of Chicago and you go out of the range for any reason, you can download the TuneIn app for Android users and search for WGHC FM. iPhone users can download the app directly. You can also get us on our website, which is WGHCFM.org. Alternatively, you can ring 563-999-3221. WGHC is a 501c organization. We dwell on your donations and your contributions to us. Whatever you give us, we try to invest back in our community. Plus, Uncle Sam is more than willing to give your money back to you. Remember to go on our website now and make a donation so we can keep supporting our community and keep expanding on our programming and events here in the studios. Once again, good evening. We will take the Captain Mike segment. When we come back, we shall go into the discussion for this evening. It is the new black leadership, and we have Minister Michael Mohammed here who will be talking about it. If you come on the feed, please share it so your friends and our friends can benefit from the discussion this evening. Do we have Mike on the line, please?
Yes. How you doing, Sina?
My brother, I am very well. How are you?
All right. I didn't know you were such a good singer.
You know, I told you, we all have gifts. Some of us try to hide ours. And so very soon you're going to hear of my album. It's coming out.
Absolutely. Well, I'll play guitar on it.
I know. You're more than welcome, man. Hey, let's shoot with the sports with the updates, please.
Okay, at O'Hare now we have 46 degrees. Winds are out of southwest, partly cloudy. It's going to get down to the 30s tonight. Tomorrow it's going to high near 50, low near 40, overcast. Going to have some slight showers in the morning, then maybe some rain in the afternoon. Thursday, high 50, low about 45. Clouds early, then clearing. Friday, you're going to have highs in the mid-40s, low in the mid-30s, mostly sunny. Saturday's a pretty nice day, high 50, but later on Saturday night, it's going to get pretty chilly, back into the 30s. Sunday, we're going to have rain in the early afternoon and evening. Temperature's going to drop. Then we're going to have mixed possible precipitation, snow into Monday, and it's going to get real cool on Monday into the 20s. So that cold is coming back. In our sports, we have the English Premier League with Bournemouth and Newcastle tied at 2, Leicester 2, Burnley 1, West Ham U4, Huddersfield 3, Liverpool 2, Fulham 1, Everton 2, Chelsea 0. And in our health and fitness report, I'm going to kind of take a turn here, kind of swing back a little bit to the weather. We just had a Category 3 cyclone hit Beira, Mozambique, where 90% of the city was destroyed and cut off from rescue. Thousands of people are at risk. Hundreds are already dead, and some are missing, and a lot of people are waiting on their roofs for rescue. This cyclone has affected Mozambique, Malawi, and Zimbabwe. So that brings us into our health report, because that we want to talk about severe weather preparedness. April 3rd is Safe Place Selfie Day. So in preparation for that, you want to know how to prepare ourselves. In our area, it's flooding, heavy snow, and severe storms. So wherever you are, figure out what your hazards are going to be and prepare for them. So with spring weather is going to bring a chance of hazards of tornadoes in our area. So first thing I want you to do, sign up for your notifications. Go to weather.gov and sign up. Get your Android, your smartphone, however you want to get your notifications. Sign up. It can save your life. 2, I want you to make plans and have a plan of a meeting place for your family for a safe space to go. And once you choose that safe space, which could be a basement, a cellar, interior room in the lowest part of your house with no windows, practice that plan. Get your family together and practice moving to that safe space. So when if severe weather is threatening, you can go there and make it easy. And don't forget your pets. Also, go to FEMA.gov. That's the Federal Emergency Management Agency for tips on how to provide better protection for your safe rooms. And number 5, help others. Encourage others to be prepared for severe weather or any type of event. Take a CPR training class so you can help others. And also, if you're inclined, you can look for the Red Cross or other type of organization that's helping out in Mozambique, Malawi, and Zimbabwe, helping out for Cyclone Idai, which has affected thousands of people. So I want to stop preaching and head back to you, Cena.
Well, we like your preaching, so, you could have kept going. But, hey, thank you so much, Captain Mike. We really appreciate you, as always. Let's hear again from you next week, Tuesday, okay?
Sounds good. Let's make a plan. And make sure you sing, too.
Yes, after the show. All right, my man.
Hey, take care.
Yep. Okay, we welcome back to the show. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be talking new black leadership, and the person to help us with the conversation is no mean person than the founder himself. Minister Michael Mohammed is in the seat. Before we proceed, last week and this week, we have not, the human race have not really had it easy in terms of our emotions, we all mourning the New Zealand shootings. May God, give them perfect rest in His bosom. We were mourning the New Zealand shootings, as I stated. A madman, a crazy person, decided to take the life of innocent people because of religion. And somebody has a saying that religion actually has divided the human race and it's caused a lot of division in our society. And one day we'll probably sit down and have a conversation regarding that. But for now, we should all, pay attention to some of these things. Religion is not supposed to be dividing us. If anything, it's supposed to be making us good people. It's supposed to be pulling us together. It's supposed to be giving us core values that would make it appreciate each other as human beings and coexist as, civilized people and not otherwise. Then on top of that, whilst we're grieving that and mourning and talking about it, in our own Ghanaian community here in Chicago, we lost a brother, a dear brother, somebody I've known from Tema, by name Simon. The Ghanaians who are listening to me, you know the story. It wasn't, pleasant for us. We had a sad story. I heard it on Thursday. A friend all the way from Ghana sent me the message, and I could not believe it, of course. He was in church on Sunday, played as usual, and then left to get something to eat at Grace African Restaurant, who are part sponsors of this radio station and this show, The Progressive Minds. If you're looking for some nice African food, you want to check out Grace African Restaurant on the north side of Chicago. Also helping WGAC. Let me take this, then I'll come back to the story. Also helping us is Makola Market here in the city of Chicago on the north side. If you're looking for grocery within the Afro grocery, let me put it that way, you want to check out Makola Market. They have all your Afro groceries that you would need. And Kaneshi Market also has been supporting us. Again, so let me come back to it. So Simon went to church, as I stated, left church that evening and went to Grace African Restaurant to get some chofi. Chofi is fried turkey, turkey meat. He bought them with his friend, Foster, and then of course, left for the house. We did not, of course, he went home Sunday evening. Monday, Tuesday, there was no hearing of him. Then his friend Foster decided to check on him. Actually, Foster had been trying to ring him and did not get hold of him. So Foster decided to go to the house to check him out. Lo and behold, Foster gets there. I'm hearing it was on Friday. Foster gets there, and to his disbelief, the police were there trying to pull out his corpse from his room, which goes to say that he had expired or passed on for a couple of days before he was found. I wouldn't go into the other details of the story, but unfortunately, we've lost a brother. We've lost a brother and a friend and a brother who had an exceptional skill with a piano. If you look at his resume, playing with almost all the big stars in Ghana, at least for Ghanaian standards. Some of them are international standards. Kojo Enchi, Daddy Lumba, Amachi Dede. Joel Aka. Okay, he's played for big-time churches. He's been here over 18 years in the States, in the city of Chicago. He's played for a lot of churches and big pastors. But all this while, the people that know Simon knew that he had a problem. There was a pertinent problem that our brother had. And for some reason, nobody could give him help. Nobody could go to the extent nobody could go beyond the normal, warning or advice from friends. Oh, brother, I think maybe this drink or maybe this problem, maybe you should cut down on it or you should slow down. We talk to him all the time. Everybody that's around him now and then would mention something of the sort in terms of advising him to cut down on the problem that he's dealing with. But in our human existence, there are there are times in life where you are burdened as a person, or you accidentally fall into certain habits or certain routine that takes total control of your willpower itself. And when those things happen, when you find yourself in those type of situations where you are consumed by an attitude or by a social vice that you have no control of, people have to go beyond regular advice. Especially the people that are close to you or the people that look after you. The people that are superior to you in our communities have to go beyond. More so when you have an exceptional skill like the one Simon has. Simon Koukume had the kind of skill, the kind of talent, organized talent that is comparable to, should I say, Steve Wonder? I mean, some may argue, but the guy can play that well. I'm tempted to compare him to Steve Wonder, at least in terms of his playing organ skills. Again, I may be wrong, but everybody attests to it, to the point where they gave him a nickname. He wasn't just Simon the organ player, but Simon the prophet. His church people called he was nicknamed the prophet. That's how deep and good this guy was. And for someone with this much talent to be struggling for years and nobody going the extra length to help him out, to save his life. And for the community, for the Ghanaian community, and for the entire world society, because his music and his skill was not only serving the Ghanaian community, it was a worldwide skill that everybody enjoyed. And for us to have lost such a beautiful soul when we could have prevented it, it was so preventable, man. May he so rest in peace. I can't say much. We have to go on to the next program. I'd want to dedicate this song to him, though. That Simon Koukume, may your soul rest in peace. May your soul rest in peace. May your soul rest in peace. We are dumbfounded by this incident, and forgive all of us. First of all, we ask God to forgive us for not doing much, for not going beyond just advising you, for not taking you into our homes and trying to give you help, for us not taking you to rehab centers, for us not taking you to committing you to special care to make sure that we win you off this problem, because it was doable. There are people in this community. There are people living in Chicago on the north side who had worse situations than Simon. Okay, the same problem Simon was dealing with, there are people in this city on the north side here who are 10 times who were in 10 times that kind of situation. They were dealing with stronger. They were farther than Simon. But you know what? Those people got help. There's a guy right now at Makola. If you go to Makola, they can tell you the story. Massive issue, just like our brother had, but someone picked him up, cleaned him, sacrificed their time, went the extra mile to save his soul. Guess what? The guy is clean now, and he is working, and he's been helped to integrate back into civil society where he's functioning normal, and who knows what he's going to be in the future. Whoever helped that guy has saved his life. He has saved his family. He has saved the entire community and society. He has won a soul for the Lord. It's not only when you take someone to the church that when you win soul, he saved a whole life. And this is what some of us should have done. This is what people that were close to Simon should have done for Simon. We lost him. And I'm saying it was preventable. And everybody knows that this was preventable. So I ask God to forgive all of us for not going the extra mile. And ask Simon to forgive all of us for not going extra mile to help him out. We have a caller on the line. Please, caller, hold on for 1 second, okay? We'll come back to you.
All right.
We would like to play, I personally want to dedicate a song to Simon, and then when we come back, we'll definitely continue with the discussion this evening. This is the Progressive Mind Show with your host, Alinko, and we are on the WGH 98.3 FM dial. We shall be right back. Okay, looks like we're having a little bit of technical problem here, but we'll fix it very soon. Just bear with us one moment.
Okay.
You lock the flow, so far from hanging on the block the dough. No. This right here, tell me what goes out to everyone that has lost someone that they truly love. Come on, check it out. Seems like yesterday we used to rock the show. I laced the track, you locked the flow. So far from hanging on the block the dough. Notorious, they got to know that life ain't always what it seemed to be. Words can't express what you mean to me. Even though you're gone, we still a team. Through your family, I'll fulfill your dreams. In the future, can't wait to see if you open up the gates for me. Reminisce sometime, the night they took my friend. Try to black it out, but it plays again. When it's real, feeling's hard to conceal. Can't imagine all the pain I feel. Give anything to hear half your breath. I know you're still living your life after death.
Every move I make, every single day, every time I pray, I'll be missing you. Thinking of the day when you ran away. What a life to take, what a bond to break, I'll be missing you.
Kinda hard with you not around. Know you in heaven smiling down, watching us while we pray for you. Every day we pray for you, till the day we meet again. In my heart is where I keep you, friend. Memories give me the strength I need to proceed, strength I need to believe. My thoughts big, I just can't define. Wish I could turn back the hands of time. Us in the six, shopping new clothes and kicks. You and me taking flicks, making hits, stages they receive you on. Still can't believe you're gone. Give anything to hear half your breath. I know you're still living your life after death.
Every move I make, every single day, every time I pray, I'll be missing you. Thinking of the day when you went away. What a life to take, what a bond to break, I'll be missing you. Somebody tell me what one that morning when this life is over. I know I'll see your face.
Every night I pray, every step I take, every move I make, every single day, every night I pray,
Every day that passes is a day that I get closer. Seeing you again, we miss you, baby. And we won't stop, cause we can't stop.
every single day, every night I pray, every step I take,
Our brother Simon Koukume, we miss you so much. We miss you, and God give you perfect rest and keep you in His bosom. And as I said, when you have an issue, when you're dealing with a problem, and sometimes some problems are not go beyond your might, or go beyond your strength, and just advice will not cut it. There are some problems you can advise people and win them off, but there are certain problems that when they take over you, they take over your willpower, and so we got to go extra mile. And I'll leave you with that. We're gonna talk to Michael Mohammed, who is the founder of the New Black Leadership. Before that, we have a caller on the line. I'm sure somebody who wants to contribute to what Michael has to say. Caller, can you please? Yes. Can you please tell us why you're calling? Your name, please.
Hello, my name is Rashani Driver. I'm calling. Sorry for your loss.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sending us your love and your condolences. It is a painful loss, and we're so much appreciative of your concern and your love. Thank you so much.
Okay, have a nice night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, again, that was someone extending their condolences. Thank you so much for doing that. If you join us on Facebook, please share the feed so we can all benefit from tonight's discussion. Minister Mohammed, Mr. Michael Mohammed, welcome to the Progressive Mind Show and WGAC.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Please tell us, who is Minister Michael Mohammed?
Well, first of all, I'm a descendant of chattel slaves here in America. I'm about the fourth generation out of slavery. My great-great-grandmother, along with her eldest daughter, migrated here directly out of chattel slavery and came north to make a life here in Chicago. And my whole life, from a very young age, has been dedicated to primarily two principles. The first one is a love of Almighty God, and the second one is a love of black people. And so those loves, those driving forces have pushed me and pulled me in many different directions to sit at the feet of my elders and be taught and schooled and baptized in the responsibilities to our struggle. So my greatest mentor is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who I joined on to at a very young age, around 17 years old. And I had several mentors prior to that who, unbeknownst to me, were handing me off into his direction. And so I have accumulated a body of work, a body of service to black people, particularly in America, under the ideal and the belief that Almighty God has had a purpose for our suffering, and that He's also placed a calling on my life to serve His purpose for our suffering. And so I have served in the ministry from a very, very young age. I became the first national youth minister in the Nation of Islam under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I just was busy working and had the opportunity to oversee several congregations within the network of our mosque structure, as well as all along being an activist, being involved with other black organizations. In fact, I started out as even a preteen, if you will, at Operation Push, which is led by Reverend Jesse L. Jackson. I was a student protege of a brother named Steve Coakley, who is a renowned researcher in the black community. And so I finally wound up under the umbrella of Minister Farrakhan, who has had the greatest impact on my life. So I've tried to continue that work outside of the religious domain, if you will, by being involved with activism, being inspired to use one of the gifts that God has given me to be able to organize people, to try to organize our people in the community. And currently, out of that vein, I was inspired to make a call to young activists and organizers back in 2002, 2003, that we all needed to get better connected. We all needed to come together on a regular basis. We all needed to communicate. We all needed to give critical feedback to one another, that we might share from each other's strengths, and that we might overcome each other's weaknesses, that we might better serve our people who are indeed hurting and suffering, misrepresented and underrepresented at every level. And so we have been trying to expand that vision of a small table that met behind closed doors to a larger table, to call in all activists and organizers, in specifically those that fight for black people primarily and exclusively almost, to come together on a regular basis, that we might create a platform for accountability. We might create a platform to be better educated and exposed to information that would help us better serve our community, and that we could come together and put our egos to the side, put our differences to the side, put petty grievances to the side, and try to deliberate on the critical issues of the day, that we might have a greater impact in changing the paradigm in the black community, where we have leaders that are all about themselves and leaders that bow down to the powers that be, that assimilate so strongly into the system that they really don't produce any good for the community. And so, in short, I am a servant, and that's what the title minister means. I am a servant, and I believe in the model of servant leadership. And I learned that servant leadership model from my mentor, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and now I'm trying to cajole, encourage, motivate, and in some cases impose that model of leadership on other black activists, organizers, advocates, etc.
Would you consider yourself a motivational speaker?
In some days I wear that hat, yes.
Okay. Let's know. I'm interested in knowing if you have families around, or if, are your families also situated in the city of Chicago or they're scattered around? Tell us a little bit about your family background.
Yes, as I said earlier,
I mean, in terms of your nucleus family.
Yes, my nuclear family, my family of origin is primarily here in Chicago.
Okay.
But it's also in a few other cities around the country, but primarily Chicago. We were one of the first families, early families, to go out to an area of Chicago known as Morgan Park, just as Morgan Park was becoming a part of Chicago. And so there was a enclave in Morgan Park, or a section, where black people had to stay, and there was a line that you couldn't cross to go into West Morgan Park, which was predominantly an Irish enclave. And so we grew from there. And so most of my primary family is right here somewhere in the Chicagoland area.
So are there kids?
Yes, I have children. Okay. I've been married twice, and I have children from both of those marriages, daughters, who are also here in Chicago.
Are you a sports fan?
Well, I am a former basketball athlete and football athlete. Okay. So I'm somewhat of a fan. I don't spend almost any time watching sports now. because I've been on about a 3-year fast from television.
Okay.
So I have not watched a regular game. Probably in the last year, I may have seen one regular basketball game and one regular football game, and that was because I was at somebody's house visiting.
And you say if you're fasting from TV, does that include CNN, ABC, none of that?
No, very little of that, actually.
Okay.
Very little of that, actually. I do a lot of reading of news. I do catch clips because I do kind of poke around on social media here and there. But I found television to be distracting from my ability to focus
on the things that matter to you.
On the things that matter to me.
So what do you do to relax if you want to?
Well, actually, I do play basketball once a week, and that's and I do normally I do martial arts about once a week. I'm also a black belt martial artist, and so
is that Taekwondo or
it's a Korean martial arts that is called Kuksul Won.
Kuksul Won, okay.
Which is Korean Royal Court martial arts.
Okay, is that specifically for self-defense, like Taekwondo is, or
well,
both?
Taekwondo is technically not considered a martial art.
Okay.
It is technically a sport. It was created for Olympic competition. And so it is used like a martial art, but technically it's not a martial art. It is Korean, however, but no, Kuksul Won is a conglomeration of Korean Royal Court martial arts, Buddhist monk martial arts, and tribal martial arts.
So that's all that combined.
It's all combined into one system.
And that's called the Kunjun.
Kuksul Won.
Kuksul Won.
It's very similar to Hapkido.
Hapkido.
But it's a little more, it has some additions to it that you may not get in Hapkido.
Okay. But there are not, we will go into the conversation, but I'm a sports person. I like Asian martial art. I like martial arts, so you're arousing my interest in there.
Right.
Which one is more difficult? Because I know there is Kung Fu, there's Shaolin, there is. Which one would you say is more difficult and it's more deadly if you possess that kind of skill?
Well, you have to answer that question in two parts.
Okay.
The first part is technical, and it's a little subjective, right? So I would say from a street, everyday situation, I would lean toward Wing Chun or Jeet Kune Do or Krav Maga. All
right, we don't know this. I mean, some of them I don't know, but which one does Chuck Norris practice?
Chuck Norris's style is a form of Japanese karate.
Okay, how about Jackie Chan?
Jackie Chan is a Chinese, probably. I don't think he's Shaolin, but he's practicing some form of Chinese muscles. It may be Tai Chi.
Okay.
It may be
Jet Li. How about Jet Li?
Jet Li is pretty much, to my understanding, a Wing Chun guy.
Okay, all right. Let's come to Minister Michael Muhammad and this new group. Of course, it's new. How long has this group been in existence?
Since 2003.
Since 2003, and you were a minister. Did you earn that title by maybe serving in a church, going to a theology school? How did you earn that title?
Yes, all of that. Okay. I was trained first in ministry, as I said, by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So I went through about 3.5 years of what I call intense training that included, traveling with him.
Okay.
As well as being taken through intense study of religion from a comparative religion perspective. as well as supplementing that training by undergoing other certificates and certifications that were extra to that core training that I received as a minister in the under the auspices of the Nation of Islam.
Does that training include studying both the Bible and the Quran?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Does the training also include fasting for longer?
Absolutely.
Okay, brilliant. Let's come to new black leadership. We know there are several black leadership groups, but they're not called leadership, like yours literally is. So what distinguishes yours from the other black leadership groups that are out there already?
Well, I'm not sure which groups you have in mind.
Well, there is the NCAA.
Yeah, NAACP. Pardon me.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, those groups are what you might call legacy groups.
Okay.
Right, meaning they started late 1800s, early mid 1800s. Most of those groups had as their core some mission to serve black people, to fight segregation or lynching or some level of discrimination.
Okay.
And those groups still exist today, but they've become more assimilated, more mainstream, if you will. Most of them have lost their radical edge, if they ever had one. And so they, while they do some good work, they are more prone to embrace the system and find that the system offers solutions to our 400-year-old problem as black people here in America.
All right.
And so we disagree with that. And so our group is, everybody in our group has been mentored or served as a protege under some pro-black, nationalistic, revolutionary, Pan-Africanist black leader in our community.
Okay.
And went through that mentorship and earned the right to stand up in their own voice and try to do good work and extend the work of the one under whom they served as a protege. So we fight exclusively for black people, unapologetically. We are not fighting for people of color because we find that is a dog whistle. We find that is a code word that is used to distract us from the special needs that black people who were captive chattel slaves in America still need, even in 2019, that other groups don't have a need or a right to. We fight. We don't mix agendas. So our agenda is focused on extracting results, resources, and justice from the system for our hurting, suffering people, many of whom who are so disconnected from the knowledge of themselves and a consciousness about who they are and what they deserve that they don't know that they're suffering because our people have suffered so long that that's the only thing we know. And so it becomes normalized to us. So we fight for that level of our people, the grassroots masses of our people, and we're not willing to compromise with the LGBTQ community. We're not willing to compromise with the Democrats or the Republicans. We're not willing to align ourselves with anything other than that which speaks to the hurt, pain, and the will provide a redress to this condition that black people in America have suffered as a collective, and people gloss over it or exploit it. So that's what makes our group a little different, is that we have a lot of radical members in our group in their own way. Some of us are more radical than others, but all of us understand the basic premise that I just articulated.
That's wonderful. And it's also interesting, or it will be interesting for our listeners to know some of the members that are some of the, I would say, top members, the executives that are on your that are with your organization. So we have Dr. Lance Williams, PhD co-founder. He's a sociologist. We have Theo Hardiman, a violist interruptus. And then William Doc Walls, he's a political activist. We have Fahim Shabazz, Chai Rock Hip Hop Nation, and Arnes Dancy. Arnes, I don't know if that's a female or it's a male.
That's a brother.
That's a brother.
Yes.
Okay. He is an economist, activist. We have Bamani Abdele. Obadele. Also, that sounds Nigerian a little bit.
Well, he took a pilgrimage to the motherland,
Ghana, and then took on a name?
And took on a name.
Got it. And then there's Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., who was Prisoners of Consciousness.
He's the son of Fred Hampton Sr., who was the renowned chairman of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party, who was assassinated here in Chicago.
Okay, Joseph, if they're listening, they can also call in, and so we can talk more about New Black Leadership. Joseph Watkins, late Saving Our Seeds, and then Minister Raheem C. Anton, founder the Temple of Mercy Association. DeAngelo Murray is an activist. Johnny Mohammed is also an activist and organizer. And then we have Enoch Mohammed, who is a co-founder Hip Hop Detox.
There's a few more there.
There's a few more behind here?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, there's a few more. Okay. So the founders board, these are the people that are on the board, right?
Well, everyone you just named except myself are founding members.
Members. Okay. And founding members in addition to being board members as well.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Great. So we have TJ Crawford. He's an activist and an organizer. Roland Davis is BOP, which is Business Center and Project 5000. Raven Fellows, my own brother. He is the Books Over Balls. Actually, he's the founder of Books Over Balls. Yeah. Cyron Smith is with National Blog Club Union / University. And then we have Chris Moore, the late. The late means the okay, got it. Yes. Chris Moore, the late, was with Exodus Renewal Society. Greg Sane is a public speaker and youth advocate. Then we have Kwesi Harris, also the late, may he so rest in peace, African American Male Resource Center. Dr. Kim Dulani, PhD, is an author, professor, and businesswoman. Three more. Samuel Mohammed is North Star United Missionary Workers of America. David Peterson is A. Philip Randolph Pullman Porter Museum. And Dr. Kelly Harris, PhD, is a political scientist. You have great people on here.
Yes.
What are some of the goals? I know you mentioned a few fighting for the rights or things that matter for the African American people, period.
Yes.
Okay. What are some of the goals? What do you intend to achieve? Now, you've been a assistant for 3 years. What do you intend to achieve within the next 10 years?
Well, we've been established since 2003.
Okay.
So, but right now, one of our greatest efforts is we are kind of going against the grain in terms of the political status quo in Black Chicago. So while most of our community has been divided around whichever personality they lined up behind, we're trying to push leadership in the community to come out of personality politics, and let's build a agenda and a platform and a system whereby we keep pressure on our elected officials to deliver the resources that we deserve in our community. And so we have a big meeting coming up Saturday, March 23rd, where we're going to talk about how we do that. We're going to deliberate and discuss what are the basic tenets and platform of a Black agenda and then begin to organize around that agenda, first on the city level, municipal level, then the county, then the state, to see if over the next 4 years, which will be the term of the next group of elected officials coming in locally, to see if over the next 4 years we can be more effective in terms of changing the status quo, creating a new paradigm in Chicago where elected officials feel obligated and are not afraid to give Black Chicago some redress, because we've been exploited by the system ever since the death of Harold Washington, and the loss of the mayoral seat from Eugene Sawyer. Our tax dollars, our fees and fines and whatnot have all gone to other wealthy communities to develop other wealthy communities at our expense. And so we have to change that paradigm. And so we want to organize ourselves in a way that we can go as far as we need to go in order to impose a paradigm shift on city government. Because it's been too long. They've done everything that you can do to a people except roll buses down the street and load us up on buses and transport us to concentration camps. We're right there. They're shooting us down like animals in the street. They're exploiting our tax dollars. As I said, they're building up downtown. They're building up Rogers Park and Andersonville and West Rogers Park. They're going to build up this new development. Lincoln Yards, yes. They've ceded much of our land on the west side to the movie studio, and they're giving them more and more land by day, and giving them tax breaks and tax incentives while we don't have Black people employed down there. Every major company or corporation that wants to set up shop here, they get tax abatement while our taxes are going up. So if you look across the board, it's total exploitation and oppression of the Black community. They shut down our schools. Rahm Emanuel shut down over 50 CPS schools where our children were, where our wives, our daughters, our aunties and grandmamas were working, making a decent and affordable living to provide a quality standard of life for those children that they had at home. He's decimated our community. The business community has pulled out of our community. We can go across the board. Okay, poor food quality in our community, food deserts in our community, higher prices on food, even the liquor in our community. You go in the liquor stores in our community, you get 40 ounces, you get Blast, you get all this flavored liquor and all this cheap whiskey and wine that they don't sell in white communities. So it's exploitation of us across the board, and it's our fault because we, especially those of us in leadership, because we've been we do a little good and we feel good, start feeling good about ourselves, and our ego gets big. So now it becomes about us. So now we can't get along because I don't want you to have more press conferences than me. I don't want you to get a bigger grant than me. I don't want you to get in more meetings with the mayor or the alderman or the governor than I do. So we hating on each other. We're despising one another, but we doing it all while we got the medallion that says we're authorized to speak for the masses of black people. So the masses of black people don't know the deals we cut in the back room. And so there's a stratification in leadership. There's weakness in leadership because we go after what we want and what we need at the expense of our people. And many of us who claim to be the blackest are the weakest of those who stand up in front of black people and in the name of black people.
Powerful. If you just join us, if you just join us, we are on the platform of WGHC 98.3 FM. We're the first African Caribbean radio station in the entire Midwest. Check us out on our website, WGACFM.org. Your contributions is what sustains us. We say it all the time. The Ghanaian community alone, the population here in the city of Chicago alone, it's about 37,000. If everybody is giving us $1, we will be fine. And we're encouraging you to come to our aid whilst we strive to grow and to bring you excellent programming such as these and more. There's more with bookings, your skills and talents, your volunteering, and all that is going to be able to help us go in the right direction. So bring whatever you have. It shouldn't only be in cash. You know, we're taking everything. We are taking all the help that we need, both in kind and cash. And so please make sure you come to our aid. This program is partly sponsored by Grace African Restaurant, also by Chateau Hair, Skin and Hair Products. We will take a short commercial break. We have a call on, actually a call. Okay, we have a caller coming through. We'll take this call, and then after that we can go on our commercial break. Caller, please tell us your name and why you're calling.
Hi, my name is Tina Davis, and I was wondering what gives him the courage that he has, what he's doing right now.
I think we had a little break in the line. Can you repeat the last sentence, please?
What gives him the courage to do what he's doing now?
Okay, he got you.
I'm inspired by him.
All right, he got you. Hold tight. He's gonna respond.
Yes, thank you for your call, my sister. Well, to be honest, we have to give all praise to Almighty God, because there's certain things we can't give to ourselves. Sometimes you're born with something that pulls you in even when you try to get out. Sometimes you're born with something that lays itself on you even when you run from it. So if you know anything about Scripture, there's a man in Scripture named Jonah. And Jonah had something in him that he was afraid of. And God kept calling Jonah, and Jonah kept on running. But God kept after him. And so a calling is like that. You will find that a calling pulls you in a certain direction, even when you don't know you're going in that direction. So that's why I talked about some of my mentors, and my biggest mentor, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because it's because of his example that I understand how to exercise the call that God put on me in the womb of my mother. And so I watched his courage in the face of vitriol and hatred. I watched him be ridiculed. I watched him be mocked and called crazy and vilified and called all of these evil, ugly names for speaking the truth and fighting for black people. And so that has shown me that God will make you the winner. Whether you live or you die in the struggle, God will make you the winner if you just fear no one but Almighty God and stand in the principles of truth. Then your blow, it may be only one blow out of many, but if you make your blow strong and based on truth, you will cause waves in the ocean of oppression with your one blow. And so that's all I'm trying to do, that I can look behind on my way off of this planet and feel proud that I served the Creator and that I've passed on a legacy to my children, that they can say they had a father who was not a coward, who didn't punk out, who didn't bow down to the oppressor, who set an example for them and a standard by which they have to try to lift themselves up to. So thank you, sister. Be of good courage. You are a child and servant of God as well.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, and have a wonderful evening. Okay, the phone lines has been open, 773-942-7167, 773-942-7167. If you wanna share your opinion regarding what Minister Michael Mohammed is sharing with us, please feel free to do so. If you have a question or suggestion, please go ahead and do so as well. In addition to that, I want to let everybody, all our listeners, know that if there's a concern you have regarding WGHC or the Progressive Mind Show, and you would want us to tweak things here and there that would make us better, send an email to info.progressiveminds@gmail.com. Specifically, if you have a concern about this show and you want to make it better, send it to info.progressiveminds@gmail.com. If you want to do business with us, we have spots here. Okay, we have openings for people who want to host shows and advertise their goods and services. Please email us at 98.3 FM. Hold on a second. 98.3 FM WGHC@gmail.com. 98.3 FM WGHC@gmail.com. Please write that number. Please write this email address down so you can always remember it. And our website is also WGHCFM.org. You can find our email there, just in case you miss it. Our Instagram handle is at WGHC98.3 FM. Facebook is WG98.3 FM. So you can miss us. We're on social media everywhere. Get in touch with us. Do your business with us, because that way you are helping to grow our community together. Remember, this is the show where we have these types of talks in the aims with a goal of developing our community. That being said, we'll go for our short commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue the topic here with Minister Michael Mohammed. We shall be right back.
Results, bringing you the best of the best. Create your style with Chateau's natural organic products for all hair types and textures. We provide top quality with the best herbal, botanical, and organic extracts for centuries-old traditions. And we do respect the world around us. Available at Whole Foods, South Loop, Hyde Park, Evanston, Forest Park, and Inglewood. Visit us at Chateau.com. For free shipping over $50, call 312-640-0009. 32 years of experience in the cosmetic industry, mixed with a love of hair and skincare. Chateau, with her passion, has also created a product line treatment to prevent hair loss, hair damage, thinning, and balding called Robust Root. Check her out at Chateau.com, RobustRoot.com, and her Instagram page at Robust Root Hair. Call her at 312-640-0117 or email at info@chateau.com. At Prasanna, GP and Professional Organizations presents African Professionals Networking Mixer 19, aiming higher for personal and African development. Friday, 5 to 10 p.m., March 29, 2019, at Prasanna, 408 South Wells Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60607. For sponsorship, call David or Umar Teller Diallo at 773-552-7106. Richard Zoa at 630-222-9674. Or A. Christie at 708-794-6377. Visit our website at gpna1957.com. Visit us on Facebook at Ghanaians Professionals of North America. Also on Instagram at GPNA1957. Dress code is business casual. Bring your business cards. GPNA1957.com. 3507. GPNA, in collaboration with all African Professional Organizations, presents African Professionals Networking Mixer 19, aiming higher for personal and African development. Friday, 5 to 10 p.m., March 29, 2019, at Prasanna, 408 South Wells Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60607. For sponsorship, call Davidson Ziga at 773-403-5073 or Umar Teller Diallo at 773-552-7106. Richard Zoa at 630 330-222-9674 or A. Christie at 708-794-6377. Visit our website at gpna1957.com. Visit us on Facebook at Ghanaians Professionals of North America. Also on Instagram at GPNA1957. Dress code is business casual. Bring your business cards. GPNA1957.com.
The GPNA mixer is coming off, and so there you have it. You might want to check them out. This is an event that is connecting professionals all over the city of Chicago. So you definitely want to be at this event, and we are going to be there. WGAC is going to be representing there, definitely. As the first the second African Professionals Networking Mixer. This is where you meet young people from the Afro community, and not just the Afro community, in the diaspora. Young professionals in the diaspora coming together in here, meeting at a spot called Persona. This is it's going to be happy. It is on the 29th of March, and it's a Friday, of course, 5 to 10 p.m., 408 South Wells, Chicago, Illinois, 60607. Come and make new friends. Come and network with professionals and people who have started their own businesses, people who are working with international organizations. You will never know who you meet, all right? And for the single ones, you never know. It may be your lucky day. So check it out, all right? And we are also thankful for Grace African Restaurant for supporting us in what we are doing. Makola Market is also a strong supporter of us. We give them big ups. We thank them so much for holding the fort so far in supporting us. Also, Kaneshi Market. These are all organizations that are helping us. If you want to sell your product, as I stated, feel free to bring it here. We're more than happy to help you out. It is 6 minutes past the hour of 8, and you're logged on to WGHC 98.3 FM. If for any reason the Facebook Live, if folks that are watching us on Facebook, for any reason it goes off, you can listen to us on our app. With Android users, download the TuneIn app, search for WGHC FM. iPhone users, just get our app from the App Store. You can also go on our website, WGACFM.org, and listen to us. Remember that we're 24/7. We don't stop working. 24/7. Good reggae vibe, good reggae music, good Afrobeat, good African classical music. If you want more of that, you definitely want to check out WGHCF, and more events coming your way. Stay tuned. Check our social media out for more information on what we are bringing you. This is a movement, and we want the community to be part of what we're doing. We will go back to Michael Mohammed, who is Minister Michael Mohammed, who is the founder of New Black Leadership. Now, Michael, this is very inspiring what you're talking about with the New Black Leadership. At what point in time did you decide that, no, I have to chant a different course and bring people on board to lead black people in this country?
Well, again, that's what I've been watching my whole life. That's what I've been watching my mentor and do my whole life.
So at what point in time did you say, okay, this one isn't for me, I got to move now?
Well, you know, this common quote we make in our community, in other communities, if you keep doing the same things the same way, you're going to get the same results, right? Mm-hmm. So when we look at, you know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us a saying where he said he gave us two sayings along the same line. The first one is, our unity is more powerful than a nuclear bomb. The second one is, our unity will win the battle. And so one of the things that people talk about when they look at black people in America is this this kind of mystery on why we have so much wealth. We are probably, our collective spending ability in the United States would rank us somewhere between the 12th and the 13th largest nation on the planet. But we don't control any industry. We don't control our toilet paper. We don't control the water we drink. We don't control the shoes we wear. We don't control anything that controls us. We have some people who have a measure of control, but even those people are subjected to a dominant industry that is controlled by the very people who have sucked our blood and exploited us ever since they brought us here in the hulls of ships. So if you look at every other ethnic community, there's a tendency for people of ethnic orientation to pull together. Not that they don't have divisions and disagreements, but there's a natural tendency they have to pull together. So we're the only community that you can look at within the body politic of America that has a natural tendency to go against each other.
Okay.
We don't have a natural tendency to pull toward each other. We have a natural tendency to go against each other. And so that is our problem. It's not that we don't have wealth or money, because we do. All you got to do is look at the news when a new pair of Air Jordan come out. Okay, all you got to do is, just look around. Like we have poverty, but we also have wealth. It's just that our mindset, we've been so destroyed mentally. We've been so robbed of the knowledge of ourselves and any connection to being one people. We don't have the mindset of one people. So when you say Ghanaian people, people who are Ghanaian, even if their father is Nigerian or their father could be Japanese and their mother's Ghanaian. But when you say Ghanaian people, their ears come, they know, they pulling toward your voice.
That's a tingling in
yes, it's because they know that means something. They know that has weight and value that's bigger than money, right? Our people don't have that concept. That was stripped from us in 310 years of chattel slavery, being forbidden to read, being beaten and sometimes killed if we were caught reading, being put on in the hulls of ships where we couldn't speak our native language, otherwise they would cut our tongues out. And they say the slave ships cut off so many black African tongues that the sharks would follow the ships because our tongues became a delicatessen. Damn. So even today, if you look in the black community, and it may be in some parts of different ethnic African communities from the continent as well, but especially in black people from Chicago, we walk down, all our women, 95% of our women are ashamed of their own hair. They got on fake hair. They don't love the hair that God gave them. When you look at us, you look at our brothers, we're imitating Al Capone and Meyer Lansky and Lucky Luciano. When we go into business, we get educated, we imitate Bill Gates or Steve Jobs. We want to be everything other than what God made us to be, right? We hate ourselves. So, and that makes us a disunified people. And then it's not just the little man who may have dropped out of school, it's the super educated. Because if you look at our super educated, the super educated impose on us the will and wishes of the white oppressor. So we have 18 aldermen in city council, but they don't create wealth in the black community. If you go through their wards, they have more vacant lots than new black businesses. If you look at the foreclosure rate in those wards where banks have come in and just literally ripped the foundation of real estate wealth, home ownership wealth out of the black community, you never seen them call a press conference and challenge the white banks for what they've done to black people in the exploitation of black people. We can go down the list. So even our so-called educated people who achieve status, they don't have a deep love for black people.
Why is that?
because it was stripped from us.
Okay.
You got to understand, for 310 years, from 1555 to 1865, we were brutalized and tortured out of the love of ourselves. We were stripped first of our language. Once we were stripped of our language, you strip us of part of our mind.
And the names too, your original names.
Names, your name. When you strip me of my language, my name has to go. Right? And even if I retained a few words, if you caught me speaking those words, you might tie me to a pole and beat it out of me. If you heard me saying a name from my native language, you would tie me to a tree or a post or something. And as Alex Haley demonstrated in the movie Roots, they beat Kunta Kinte out of saying his name was Kunta and made him call himself Toby. Well, that's what happened to us. So that has been passed down generation after. When they let us go in 1865 off of the plantations, our minds were so destroyed. You know what over half of our people did? They didn't go for themselves. They returned back to the plantation. So sharecropping carried on another 50, 75 years. Some sharecropping, they say, is still going on. Because, so when you look at our community, my brother, we, and this is true in parts of the continent, the motherland, we want to bleach our skin. Right? We want to lighten our eyes with contacts.
A lot of people are bleaching back home.
Yes, yeah. Well, that used to be big in America first, but with the rise of the movement of Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Noble Drew Ali, the Black Panther Party, and the Black Conscious Movement, that there was pushback from that, so they couldn't sell those products like that to us anymore at that point. So just like they did with cigarettes, see, they got us addicted to cigarettes, black people, right? But when the movement against smoking set in America, they transferred that market to other black people. So they were selling us bleaching creams. When we started to reject it, they went to our motherland and started pushing it on the continent, just like they did with cigarettes, right? So what we don't understand, what we fail to understand, what we underestimate is the power of social engineering. See, slavery in America is unlike any slavery in the history of the world, because it was not just a physical brutality, it was a system of psychological whitewashing of the mind and stripping you of your natural way of being, your natural way of thinking, any memory of your history of where you came from. Your culture, your rituals, your utterances, your language,
your values,
all your values, all those values were stripped from us in America. So that's why when many of you come here from the continent, we look like you, we're from you, but we act a little strange. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, because something happened to us that has never been put in textbooks. So when we go to school and we learn history, I don't care if you go to Yale, Harvard, Cairo, Egypt, the Sorbonne in Paris, wherever they don't put that in the history books. What white people in America did to black people to make us what we call niggas. God don't make niggas, but white people have. White people made niggas. But most of us don't know what that word means and why they called us that. See, the word nigga is a derivative of the word necro. And necro is a Greek term that is attached to anything that deals with death. So if you're a necrophiliac, you're a person who goes through hospitals and funeral homes having sex with dead bodies. But the word the prefix on the word necro is death. So necro, when it comes out in the translation of the English language, the alternate meaning, the sub meaning of that word nigger or negro is not just black, but it also implies a mental and spiritual death, because you've been totally stripped of any knowledge.
Your human realization actually is stripped off you.
Yes. So you don't know how to care for yourself. You don't know how to love yourself. You don't know how to take care of the skin God gave you. You don't know how to take care of the hair God gave you. You don't know what to do for your body, right? So if white people put on sunscreen, you put on sunscreen. And it don't even dawn on you that sunscreen is a artificial replacement of melanin. But you are from a people who are the original people on the planet to come up in the sun, who are endowed with melanin from the beginning. So your sunscreen is a gift from God. So you emulate white people while white people trying to emulate you, but they don't let you know that they trying to emulate you. Because they've convinced you that you should emulate them.
Because they're trying to get what you want.
That's right.
I mean, what you already have.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Man, it is very informative. It's what's time again? 20 minutes, right? 20 minutes past. Make sure I'm seeing it right here. Yes, 20 minutes past the hour of 8 here in the studios of WGHC. If you want to contribute, the number is 773-942-7167, or ask a question, the same number, 773-942-7167. We're talking to Minister Michael Mohammed. He is the founder of the New Black Leadership. What, from what all that you've said, it's clear that there's a big a disconnection. How does the New Black Leadership intend to mend the disconnection?
Yes, that's a great question, because we have an obligation to get to that point, because our greatest motivation, especially for me, I'll say personally, and for many of our members, is the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And one of the things that these two men have in common is that they tried to prepare us and make us ready to reconnect with our people on the continent of what we call Africa.
Right.
Because they understood that we need to claim our cultural identity, but part of reclaiming our cultural identity is to reconnect with our family, that the families that we were stripped from when we went through Goree Island, when we went through the door of no return, when we got on those ships and our people didn't know where we were and where we landed, right? So we have a obligation to our ancestors. See, our ancestors chose to live and fight. That if you really study what happened to them starting on the slave ship, the average person, and some of them jumped over. Some of them said, I'm going to die. I'm not going to be a slave. I'm going. This first chance I get, I'm going to jump over, right? But others of them said, you know what? I'm going to live. They had something in them that said, I'm going to survive this, right? And so generation after generation, what they passed on to us in Black America is this thing that's impenetrable, right? So no matter what white people have put on us, somehow we keep bouncing back, right? Every time they think they're doing something to destroy us, we come bouncing back. So what I'm saying is but look, when you go to a place of culture and you don't have no culture, you're offensive. So Pookie can't come back to the motherland with people, that have some sense of culture and protocol and etiquette and respect for one another, and Pookie used to being in the hood, throwing trash everywhere, or doing what we do in the hood, he's not going to be received well, right? And so when you go to a people who have some sense of culture, some connection to the land, you have to have you have to come properly, right? So what I'm trying to do, what I'm hoping we can do and inspire our members to do is to create a governing body in terms of Black leadership, Black organizers, Black activists, so that now when we get situated properly, right? Where we are positioned to demand and command respect from other people. Now when we sit down from our brothers and sisters from the continent who work together, whose families come together and create wealth, who speak with one voice on the issues of Ghana or Nigeria or whatever nation state they may happen to be from, you all tend to speak more with one voice. We want to come to the table with our brothers and sisters with dignity and respect and let you know that, hey, your brother has grown up, your sisters have grown up, and now we can have a conversation on par and learn from you, and you learn from us, and you help us, and we help you, and now we lift the whole black nation up, which is really the planet, because black people are the original people all over the planet, and that's why Marcus Garvey and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said black is universal.
There are more questions for you, but let me go to folks. Let me go to our Facebook folks that have been here for some time now. Let me try and acknowledge them. Latanya Johnson says, good evening. Hello, Latanya. Good evening. Sean Sunshine, she called in earlier. Hey, how are you? And then we have Joe Owusu, my brother. What's up, man? Thank you so much. He says, great show. CJ Lewis. CJ Lewis is here with us. Rebecca Modi is also on here. Thank you so much for joining in, Rebecca Modi. Johnny Woods, my master, my brother, my mentor. We haven't spoken yet, but you are my secret mentor. Even though we have not really, gone to have had that conversation. But all I'm saying is that we revere you a lot. We respect you a lot. Thank you so much. And we appreciate your support, Johnny Woods. Gil Frazier is also here. Hey, Dr. Frazier, you can call in now if you can. Shanta Douglas says hello to you as well.
Greetings.
She says, great show. Thank you so much. NK, the legend, is also watching. Legend, Nakofi Boateng, the founder and CEO of WGHC. Thank you for joining the conversation this evening. Shante Douglas says, I love that comment. A winner, and we winners give the gifts from God to our children. Okay. Thanks for your comment. Julius Hall is also watching. Dalasi Makavo. Oh, Dalasi Makavo. What's up, bro? Thanks for joining the discussion this evening. You can call in and ask questions if you want to. Takara Miss Lovable Moore. Hello, Takara. You are a constant and committed listener to this show. Thank you for your contribution and for making our community a better place by doing what you do. Okay, she said we just got off that chapter. You probably mentioned something that she was talking about with her friends. Okay. And then Sierra Miller is also here with us. Good evening, Sierra. And then, okay. What do you have to say to all those rich black celebrities and folks that have made it out of the community and are not necessarily connected or are not necessarily coming back? Because you talked about how we're not investing in our communities. What message do you have for these celebrities that we have that are gone out of the communities and are coming back to help?
Well, that's a great question, but the simple answer is the same message I have for the little brother that might be here on Wilson and Broadway doing what he do out there, right? That don't have any knowledge of himself. And when he got a pistol or a gun, he looking to shoot somebody that look like him. If he's selling drugs, he's looking to sell it to somebody that look like him. If he's doing any manner or creating any mayhem, he's trying to do it to people that look like him, all because he's been stripped of the knowledge of himself. Therefore, he cannot act in love for himself and in his own real self-interest because he has never known his true self. Well, our black athletes are the same way as that little guy that feels like he got to get into street life and imitate goons and gangsters because he doesn't know anything. Well, if you understand the plight of our successful athletes, they go through a plantation system. So it starts even in elementary school. and they put you in a tournament system where you're scouted and you're recruited and you're groomed to go to from elementary school to high school. And then in high school, they scout you and groom you to pick the cream off the top. So the top athletes go to the big Division I schools, which are normally predominantly Caucasian. So when they take their first visit to the campus, it's a group of young white girls that have already been trained on how to cater to you and make you feel special because they want you to sign at that school. So for the weekend or the week that you go to visit that school, they wash your clothes. They'll iron your underwear if you ask them to. They'll cook for you. They'll go get food for you. They'll massage you. They'll have sex with you. They'll do whatever they need to do to get you on their campus because they know that if you are a LeBron James or whoever you want to name coming to a college, you represent multi-millions of dollars for that institution. So now when you get on a white environment, you're not seeing black women. Now, probably for the first time in your life, you're seeing predominantly white women, 99% white women, where you still a man, you still need affection, you still need love, you still need the touch of a woman, but the only women you have access to are Caucasian. Right? So now you are hooking up with the white woman, but she's been skilled in how to use her feminine power. She ain't gonna pop off at the mouth at you. She not gonna talk down on you. She not gonna resist a request or even a command you give her. She gonna submit to you because she been taught all her life to submit to a man. Now that's gonna stand in contrast with your black woman who don't respect you as a man. She ain't gonna obey hardly anything you say, especially if you don't have no money yet, right? So now they suck you in. They not teaching you the history of any of the legacy athletes who've suffered discrimination and racism and hatred. You don't know anything about the history of your people, right? So you stand up at every game, put your hand over your heart and sing the national anthem. So now you become more assimilated. You see yourself as America because now all of these white people have embraced you, so you think, and now they're ingratiating themselves to you and setting you up to make millions of dollars. So what motivation do you have to be a Colin Kaepernick or even a LeBron James to even speak out or wear a hoodie like he did after Trayvon Martin was assassinated? Most of our athletes are not conscious. They don't start from a conscious position. And if you don't catch them before they go to college, they don't gain consciousness till later on when they get a bogus case. They get ripped apart by the criminal justice, or they have some Jewish agent or lawyer who exploits and steals all their money. And now they got to open their eyes a little bit. Now they get a little courage, but they still don't have the knowledge of self. And when I say the knowledge of self, they don't know the rich history, the immeasurable history of black people that goes so far back in time that no archaeologist or historian has discovered the beginning of black culture. They don't have any of that body of information to buttress who they are as a person. So they get sucked in to Satan's world.
Is it the same as the Hollywood stars? And
absolutely. Absolutely.
What would you say to? There's this argument out there. Men and women, have these conversations, and I've heard it in a grapevine that black men are envious of their white Caucasian counterparts. What would you say to that?
Black men are not envious of their white counterparts in that sense. Well, that might be a apropos term, as I understand the term of envy. But it is true that we aspire to be like white people. Like I said earlier, we
because you are being engineered,
socially engineered, to believe that success is white people. So it's across the board. It's not just in Hollywood or sports. It's in politics. It's in religion. Look at the world of religion. Muslims want to be like white Arabs. Christians want to be like white Christians. all across the board, Western civilization has imposed itself on us as standards of beauty, power, and success. So look, in Chicago, we had wealthy men who were manufacturers. Like Ed Gardner produced Soft Sheen. He had a factory on the South Side. Mr. Johnson, he had a publishing company on Michigan Avenue. First black man to have a high-rise on Michigan Avenue. Then you had his brother, had Johnson Products, with a huge complex on the South Side producing beauty care products. We had, I don't know how many black banks in Chicago. Now we have virtually nothing. Why? Because they made the business successful. Then their children come in and feel like it represents power and success to sell the business back to white people. So as a result, we, instead of building a business that can employ our own people, now we don't have anything.
Interesting. So can you speak on what is his name, Dr. Dre? You know, he had the Bose. He made
Beats,
the Bose.
that's right.
The Beats headsets.
Yes.
And then he sold it to Apple, I think.
Absolutely. Well, he still has a percentage, but this is what I'm saying.
Right.
We call it black excellence. This is the buzzword, right? So you look at Puffy or Jay-Z or Dr. Dre, that's black excellence, right? Because they got all this wealth and blah, blah, blah. And everybody looks at this other brother, Dame Dash, as though he's crazy because Dame Dash is saying, well, yeah, but that ain't real power because real power is ownership, not being a marketing representative or a face. You know, we had the same phenomenon here in Chicago where Magic Johnson came to Chicago, right? He partnered with white folks and the mayor, and they and bought the use of his name. So he acted as though he was doing some good for black people in the hood by opening these alternative schools to help you get your high school diploma. And now 5, 6, 7 years later, however long it's been, we discover that it really never was his school. He just branded he sold the branding of his name. Right. So this is a mentality. This is a psychology. And what I'm saying is that means I'm trying to be like white, because white people do it all day. They sell business. Right. Well, they can afford to do that because it's their system. But when you are an oppressed people, you have to build your own internal independent system.
So you can pass it on.
So you can buttress and withstand those external forces of oppression and, yes, pass it on to your people, to your children or somebody else's children who's from your community. That's how you establish and maintain power and make people respect you.
Good. Mr. Michael, you made a comment. I mean, you touched on something earlier, which I want us to revisit. You said, we don't have a culture in terms of the African American, like you don't have a culture. But somebody also argued that there is an African American culture. Like we do have a culture. Like we have.
Yes, that's true.
Right. Yeah. You know. So yeah. So so maybe we can identify some of the things that African Americans do, which will say this is their culture.
Well, I would say most of our culture is derivative of our slave experience. So when you talk about, we glamorize soul food. As an example. Well, every menu item on a soul food menu is actually food of desperation. It's food that our fathers had to eat in chattel slavery because the slave masters, by and large, did not give us regular food. We had to eat the food that the animals ate because that's what chattel means. That's what chattel slavery means. That's why in the U.S. Constitution, we were considered no more than 3/5 human. We were considered just like a horse or a cow or a chicken. We were chattel property. So that soul food is a diet of desperation, where we had to take the food of animals and adapt it to make it our food. So when we were emancipated in 1865, we didn't do a critical examination of slave life. We carried forward many of the elements of slave life, and soul food is a perfect example of that, because at the end of the day, we have to deal with the fact that black people in America, we are number one in high blood pressure, sugar diabetes, a heart attack, cancer. We're number one in these categories. And you can't detach that from the slave diet that we call soul food. So yes, soul food is our culture, but it's a culture, it's a low culture that is derivative from a people who never were reinculcated to their original culture.
We have a caller on the we have a caller on the line. Please tell us your name and why you're calling.
Hi, my name is Sakara Moore. I'm from Kingsley King College.
Yes.
And my question is, I don't know if this was talked about. I'm just tuning in. But how do you feel about in the black community, man and the man and the women, they switching roles? And do you think that it's going to affect our community in the future?
Wow. Thank you for calling, Sister Sakara, I think is your name. That's one of the most critical questions we need to ask each other. Mm-hmm. We need to be talking about this question at dinner. We need to be talking about this question when we go to the mall with our friends and we're walking around having conversation. We need to talk about this question with our children, because the aim of our enslavement, and I don't mean this in a sexist way because I didn't invent this, but it's just the truth as attested to by every scholar of our history, that the aim of chattel slavery, the first objective was the emasculation of the black male. Mm. And so the black male's image and power and ability to be his natural self was extracted from him through very brutal systems, right? And so the converse of that is that it made our women look up to the white man as the source of power, right? So our family dynamic has been being disrupted since we came here in 1555. And so if you notice, with every time we have a surge in the accumulation of some type of wealth or power in society, there's at the same time an assault on the nature of our male-female relationships. So our women have been, the doors of corporate America were opened in the 70s to black women who began to go in corporate America and obtain authority, title, authority, and a semblance of power, while the black man struggled to find a means to be a provider and protector of his family. And so, and then after that, now we're in a state where after a long period of that paradigm, our women have felt as though black men are not their equal. So financially. So therefore, you don't have to listen to me as a black man because you may make $80,000, I may make $20,000. So you were socially, very skillfully engineered psychologically to equate manhood only with money. Now, there is an element of manhood associated with money only from the sense that as men, we should strive to be providers of for our children and their mothers. That's a natural paradigm. But you cannot make manhood exclusive to a paycheck, because it's something divine and innate in it that is bigger than materialism. Right. So but our women feel as though, hey, I run my own salon. I'm a shot call at work. You know, I got this business, that business. I don't need no man. And then you look on TV. That's the message. Every program is telling black women, not white women, telling black women, you don't need no man. Every movie telling black women, not white women still want their man. They still respect their man, right? Except for a small segment of them that may be a lesbian. But that's a small percentage of white women. White women know that white men run stuff. They know that. They don't have a problem with that as long as you're not sexually assaulting them and all. That's what they objecting to. They're not really objecting to men being men. But when you look at black women, and so now our women are in a condition where you relate better to your children, your sons, than you do their fathers. So when you run into difficulty with the father, you don't know what to do. So you bail, you run. So our divorce rate is high. Our single motherhood is extremely high. So we don't know how to have healthy male-female relationships. But those same women who rejected the daddy will put the son behind the steering wheel of the car. We'll let the son open her door. We'll defer to the son on decisions and whatnot in a way that she had a hard time deferring to the adult male in her life. All of that is social engineering. And then on top of that, my sister, if you talk about this with the average black woman, she's going to cuss you out if you tell her that all of this is out of order. Our women have been made incapable of looking at themselves and receiving any critical feedback. They have been made incapable of saying, I'm wrong, I'm sorry, and I got to do something better. And that's a big problem in our community.
Wow. Caller. Did you have any other question, or that would be it for you?
Yeah, I wanted to put input on that too, and also I just feel as talking to women, since we look at guys as they are beneath us, and but as I talk to other women, sometimes they look at other women, so they date other women to get that comfort because they're not getting it from a man.
Wow. Hey, that's and now and believe it or not, everything about the black community is controlled, even when we don't realize it. Everything that goes on in our community is a direct or indirect result of social engineering at the hands of the people in power, white men. They choose the music that we listen to, the movies we watch. They choose and they bump, nudge, and influence everything that becomes the status quo in our community. And we don't realize it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, all right, caller, would that be it for you?
Yes.
Would that be it for
Yes.
you? Okay. Thank you so much for your contribution, and have a very good evening.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have been listening to Minister Michael Mohammed, and he is dropping some deep knowledge. If you are on Facebook and you would want to have your friends listen to this or benefit from this information, please do us a favor by sharing the feed so that we can all share in this knowledge. Facebook the Facebook page is Progressive Minds. If you want to watch us, look for Progressive Minds, all one word, like the page, and you should see us. Michael Anthony Aguji Ado says word control. My brother Tony, I don't know when you add a Michael, so but Tony, I would like you to expand a little bit on word control. I know you're an excellent, deep, thinker. So please call in. I want you to call in now, Tony. Actually, I wanted to call in and expand a little bit on the word control statement that you put on Facebook. And actually, I want you to share your idea or your thoughts based on what we are discussing this evening. Johnny Wu says we are not united and don't love each other. So where do we go from here?
Well,
and I guess it has a lot to do with the new black leadership. How do you? First of all, are you were situated in Chicago? This is your base, right?
Yes.
Are you looking to have branches in the other states, or
eventually? Yes, eventually. That would be great.
After you've gotten a solid.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
After we have the type of footing that and the type of structural continuity. Mm-hmm. That would allow me to invest time in other areas to establish chapters.
Okay.
Because it's a coalition, but we definitely have some structure to it.
Right.
And we have some protocols that we're trying to establish that allows leadership to be held accountable.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So
before we go to Johnny Wu's question, how are you getting funding?
We are self-funded.
Okay, you're self-funded.
And we did that deliberately because there's a problem that even the blackest organization gets money from white people.
Okay. So you intend to self-fund as long as this group exists, this organization exists?
That would be great, but we do need financial support, but we want to put ourselves in a position that when we ask for financial support, it will be a black person of means who loves black people and can respect our work and not try to censor our message or our methodology.
Have you tried to work with Dr. Willie Wilson? Because we know he's a black philanthropist.
We've had Dr. Wilson on our show. Some of our members have worked with Dr. Wilson, endorsed him in the mayoral campaign. So we have not approached him for financial support, and I don't think we will until we're out of the political season, because many of our members don't agree with who he has endorsed, and so we don't want to be hypocritical and ask a man for financial support while we have a deep philosophical disagreement with him.
I got you. That makes a lot of sense. What are your challenges right now? What are the things that are hindering you so you are not able to move at the pace that you want to?
Well, just what we're talking about, resources.
Resources, okay.
It takes some money, not a lot, but it does take money in order to devote time and energy and whatnot in order to be effective, because you have to get your message out. You have to invest in relationships, right? So all of that requires resources. And so that would be the biggest thing standing in our way from an external point of view. From an internal point of view, quite honestly, most of our founding members are black men. And to be honest with you, my brother,
Senna,
yes, Brother Senna, thank you. I find, from a brother who's been in black organizations my whole life, black men of some level of leadership, we are the most insecure members in our community. And so you find a lot of insecurity when we interact with each other. You find a lot of petty competition. So many times in black organizations, the thing that holds us back is not only the resources, the access to resources. A lot of times the thing that really holds us back is our inability to respect and honor each other and have the discipline to carry through on a vision or a mission. Right. So that's also a big thing, is always having
the discipline, right?
And always having to massage ego, always have to be hypersensitive that I don't speak this way or that way, that I don't overshadow people who need the spotlight, that people who run with the spotlight, that I got to pull you back some because you becoming a showboat and all this kind of thing. So that's a very difficult process to engage in, particularly with black men who have never had proper recognition, never had the things that they need, even though they may have given a lot of themselves. They tend to feel like they've never gotten what they need. So we operate frequently with a deep imbalance and a serious ego need.
Mr. Minister Michael Muhammad is making a lot of sense and is dropping a lot of knowledge this evening. And I want the community to, of course, take a note from what he's saying. If you doubt or have issues with it, this is the time to do it. Please call, ask your question and concerns. He is more than ready to address them. So, okay, so that being said, which is with regards to Johnny Wood's question, the way forward, are you affiliated with any other organizations as of this time?
Yes. Well, I have two other organizations that I founded. One is my spiritual ministry, Torchlight Interfaith Ministries, and the other one is a violence prevention effort called Street Peace Coalition. Outside of that, I am still a member and participant in the Nation of Islam under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Okay.
And outside of that, I really have not kept active participation in a lot of other groups because another thing I find is sometimes we take on too much.
All right.
And we have to realize our limitations. We have to realize our capacity.
Right.
And so it's better to be involved, to minimize your involvement so you can improve your quality over quantity.
Okay. It's 54 minutes past 8 p.m. We will be coming back shortly to Minister Michael Mohammed regarding this conversation. Stay tuned.
At Chateau.com, we don't sell products, we sell results. Bringing you the best of the best. Create your style with Chateau's natural organic products for all hair types and textures. We provide top quality with the best herbal, botanical, and organic extracts for centuries-old traditions. And we do respect the world around us. Available at Whole Foods, South Loop, Hyde Park, Evanston, Forest Park, and Inglewood. Visit us at Chateau.com. For free shipping over $50, call 312-640-0009. 32 years of experience in the cosmetic industry, mixed with a love of hair and skincare. Chateau, with her passion, has also created a product line treatment to prevent hair loss, hair damage, thinning, and balding called Robust Root. Check her out at Chateau.com, RobustRoot.com, and her Instagram page at Robust Root Hair. Call her at 312-640-0117 or email at info@Chateau.com.
Welcome back to the show, and we have about 5 minutes, actually 3 minutes to wrap up the topic for this evening. We thank you so much for hanging out with us up until now. A few people joined in. Ajuman Godfred is just joining, and one thing is just Ajuman Godfred who just joined in. Good evening to you, Ajuman Godfred, and please share the feed. This is very important information we're sharing here. Minister Mohammed, please tell us what event is coming up and other details that you would want our audience to know.
Yes, first let me thank Brother Reuben. Fellows are one of our founding board members who connected us.
Oh, you mean Reuben Fellows?
Yes. So, so this at least 3 to 4 times a year we do what's called the United Black Leadership Quarterly Roundtable, where we invite leaders, activists, organizers to come to the table and have discussions around the current conditions in the community. And so we're having one of those roundtables this Saturday, March 23rd, starting at 1:30 at the Prince Hall Grand Masonic Lodge at 809 East 42nd Place on the 3rd floor. This is a meeting for leaders and activists, where we sit around the table and we face one another and we deliberate around critical issues. The big critical issue now is the fact that we have 2 black women in the race, and underneath there's some subtext there, and so we need to talk about how do we impose a black agenda on either one of these black women, whichever one should win. We're trying to talk with this body about shifting their mindset away from fighting over personality and focusing on agenda. No matter who wins, let's drive forward with a systematic approach to engaging government to extract resources and redress out of government, which is the steward of our money, right? Our equity in the city, to extract that equity and see some development and some shift in the quality of life for black people on the southwest, east, north sides of Chicago. So that's what we're going to be dealing with, and we're going to be going through the elements of the Black Agenda platform and trying to organize ourselves around that.
Okay, your last words, please.
My last words, brother Senna, is I want to thank you, my brother, for having your little brother in the studio, giving me an opportunity to put this message out. You have a great studio here. I'm surprised you driving down Broadway. I would never know that you're here doing wonderful things here on the air. So I just want to thank God for you, brother, and everybody associated with the work that you do. I want to pray that God will continue to bless you and give you the courage to let us cry out in the wilderness and tell some stories that maybe the biggest stations are afraid to let be heard over the airwaves. And I just want to ask that God will have mercy on you and keep you steadfast, brother, and bless you with the resources and the energy and the health that you need to continue to uplift African people, because we are all African people. It's just we got cut off from our people, and so we're trying to get up from the mud so that we can reclaim ourselves and connect with our family, brother. So I thank Almighty God for you, brother.
Thank you so much, Minister Michael Mohammed, for the blessings. I received them, and I extend it to my boss, the legend, the founder of this station.
All right.
This is the reason. All that you said is the reason why he fought so hard, left his career, left everything behind. And this is not paying us. This actually is not paying us. We actually self-funding, we're struggling, but to leave everything and to pursue something that you're not getting, any remuneration from, it's not easy. But again, this is what he strived for. This is what he fought for. So the blessings I'm sharing with my brother, NK and Kofi Boateng, that's his name, Kofi Boateng.
Okay.
And you'll be seeing him in the course of time shortly. Yes. Kofi, wherever you are, God bless you and your family, especially your wife, for giving you the support and allowing you to do this. Your children, your sons, your beautiful daughter, your mother, your beautiful mother, God bless them all. And to our listeners, folks who have joined us, this platform has come for all of us. And also, most importantly, to connect. This is a platform that we want to use to connect to our African-American brothers. And I want to give you kudos. I want to thank and appreciate the African-American community. And I'm going to use you as a point of contact, because for all that you have been through and to have created the system and to have helped America create the system that we have now, which us, immigrants coming from Africa and all over the world, come and enjoy. We want to give you, I want to stand, at least on the behalf of my family and WGHC, and thank you, thank the African-American community, thank our brothers who have not let their bitterness and their horrific, treatment and everything that you went through to swallow you, but rather you have fought and you keep fighting for social justice, for social equality, and for all these benefits. Almost all the benefits that immigrants enjoy are as a result of the fight and the struggle that your ancestors and your fathers and your ancestors and your leaders and people from your community attain for us. So we want to really appreciate you. Again, we are looking forward to working together so we can solidify the relationship between us and then you. We are one people, but there had been an artificial divide. And that artificial divide, we have the capacity to be able to break it. And so, again, thank you all so much. We appreciate you, the African-American community. We love you as Africans. We love you as our brothers and our sisters. Again, to those who chimed in and contributed to this show. Actually, let me read this comment from my brother Michael before I leave. I know I'm a few minutes past the time, 2 minutes, but please forgive me. Michael, my brother Michael Anthony says, we thank you too, Minister Mohammed. Hopefully next time we can do this longer. Sorry I couldn't call in on time. God bless Alinko. So people are really interested. And this is a brother also from the African community. And of course, he's digging the information. And so we intend on sitting down here and having a tete-a-tete, a dialogue on how we can all move together and solidify and grow our communities. Once again, thank our listeners. I thank our listeners for chiming in, for contributing. Those who called in, those who were not able to call in, thank you all for your moral support. Remember, to whom much is given, much is required. This has been your servant, host of Progressive Minds, Alinko. See you next week. Bye-bye.
98.3 FM.
WGHC 98.3 FM. Your voice, your music, your station.
You're listening to WGHC 98.3 FM.
Spoil you, but we are nothing's friend. From see you the first time, want touch us since then. Mama, me spoil you, get anything you like. Long as you alright, then me alright. Me know you man, that's why I'm alive.
Your voice, your music.
That me in a skirt, our jeans are short shots. Head race when me walk past. Me feel the eyes, me lick the eye. Me love the lights, me do it spike.
Baby, pana, they say you like you all I got you all baby, pana. Anywhere let's go, I can follow you to go, baby.
New level. You're listening to WGHC 98.3 FM.
New level, new level. New level, new level. New level, new level. I them turn Tony in a rebel. Pam banana pam panam panam pam pam banana pam panam pam 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 banana pam panam panam pam pam banana pam panam pam.
Your voice, your music, your station. WGHC 98.3 FM.
Your voice, your music, your station. 98.3 FM, WGHC LP, Chicago.
You're listening to WGHC 98.3 FM.
Spoil you, but we are nothing's friend. From see